Hey you, this is Jasim from Codeband, and in this video I'm gonna be talking about views in Laravel. So if you're new to my channel, please do subscribe my channel and click the bell icon near to it. So without any further, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so in the last lecture we talked about the routes. We have set some random routes like the about us and contact us pages. So if I do run my server by typing in PHP artisan serve, then I can get the default one right here along with the two new routes like the slash about us and the slash contact. So with that being said, in this video we are going to be talking about the views. Now before going into that, let me introduce you to the MVC architecture that we have set in the introduction video. So MVC is an architectural pattern that is followed by Laravel, or I should say many of the backend frameworks, or possibly frontend too. So MVC stands for like M stands for model, and V stands for view, and C stands for controller. So I'll explain each of them like an introduction. So model is nothing but anything related to database. Anything that is related to database comes under the model section. Now controller is nothing but where you write your logic, like if you want to fetch something from the database, if you want to push something into the database, and if you want to do some calculations and all those stuff, all those business logic you will write in the controller section. Now we'll talk about the model and the controller in the further videos, in the separate videos, but in this video we'll be talking in depth of the view. Now what is the view? View is nothing but what is seen by the user, by the end user, which means if I go to the same URL itself like slash contact, then we can see that it renders contact us. Now this is what is seen by the end user. So if I go to the home page, then I can see all these steps. Now this is the view itself. That is what is viewed by the user. That's exactly the view stands for. Now we have already set one route that returns a view. Now what this route essentially does is, if it is home page, then it will call the function, and the function returns a view of welcome. Now what this does is, in the resources folder, if you come back in resources folder, you can find a section called views. In here you can find something like welcome.blade.php. Now this welcome is exactly referring to this file without the extension blade.php. Now I'll talk about Blade and specific in a minute, but what we are now interested in here is I can pass an associative array as a second argument to this view function. Like I can pass in an associative array of key value pairs, which is nothing but a key value pair. So I can pass in something like name and a value of codeband. You can of course pass in like multiple arguments here, like name and email. Let me say it as email. Then the email I have is like let me say it as something like codeband@gmail.com. So what this does is, this associative array is being passed into this view, this welcome.blade.php, which means we can access these values inside our template itself, this one. So what I'm doing is, instead of writing this default Laravel one, I'm replacing it with my name that we have passed in here, right in here, the associative array. So we could just say like we will do the regular PHP stuff. Now we'll talk about the Blade itself, which is super useful, and we'll just stick with the regular one at first. Now we can just say like echo the dollar name. So we passed in the name right in here. We passed in name and email, so we can just write echo dollar name. Now if I save this one and come back in here, we get codeband. So that's working perfectly fine. Now I can also like say like echo name along with echo dollar email. So if I save this one again, I'll get that codeban and codeban@gmail.com. So with that being said, now the Blade, I'll talk about the Blade. Now Blade is a templating engine used in Laravel, which essentially means, you don't have to write in this way, in the regular PHP way. You just, in order to print this name variable and email variable, all you have to say is like use the templating syntax, much like this one. So if I say double curly braces, and inside I can say like $name, and which prints exactly the same thing. Now you can instead use this method, but this is so bloated, like it's the regular PHP. You can use much simpler way of the Blade syntax. Now we'll talk about Blade in our further videos where we do our project itself. This is just a brief introduction. Now this is the Blade syntax of displaying something. If you want to display something, you use this syntax, like the double curly braces and inside the variable name. So if I want to say like I want to display email, I'll just say just like that, and which gives me that email. So this is the Blade syntax. Now I'll do a little bit of complex tasks, like if you want I'll do it first in the regular PHP one. So I'll say it as like this one. And now what I'm doing is, if we pass in as the name is code band, then we'll print yes, otherwise we'll print no. So which can be accomplished by using an if, and I can say like, or you could also use the ternary operator, but I'll stick with the if one. So if $name is equal to code band, then we can essentially say that just print or just echo yes. Otherwise, if it is not the case, I will just print or echo no. So this is the very simple logic we just did, but this is the normal PHP stuff. Now this can be, I'll just comment this stuff by saying control/, and I'll do this one in the or I will erase this stuff, right? That's more looking good. So I'll do the same stuff in the Blade syntax. So if you want to start an if, I'll say add, then if, then I want to, if whatever we start, we want to end. So if we start if, then I want to say end if. So that's working perfectly fine, which means I start an if, then I end that if. Now inside here, I can check like at if the condition, which is nothing but the $name is equal to code band. Now if it is equal to code band, what I can possibly say is I can display, in order to display we use the double curly braces, and we say just like yes. Now if that is not the case, which means the else part, at else we can just say like no, and that's it. If we save that again, we got the exact same thing, same result. Now this is displaying no because I have said that there is no space in between. We passed in a code band with a space, and we're checking it as without space. So if I give that space, then I'll get yes for sure. So that's the logic, or that's the basics of the Blade templating engine. Now we'll talk about Blade in the further videos as we go along with our project. We'll do a lot of steps. So with that being said, that is all about a brief introduction to the views. Now I have a challenge for you, like in the contact us page, you just pass in or you just make a view. Now in order to make a view, like you have to right click in here and say like a new file. I'll say about.blade.php. Then in here, instead of returning the regular HTTP response, I'll just say return view and the name of the view. Now this is about.blade.php. So in here you can fill that without the extension, just the about. And if I just save that and go back in here in that route about us, I'll get nothing because this has nothing. This Blade has nothing. So I'll just say like do a regular stuff in here and say home title as about, and I'll just say an h1 tag and about us. If I say about us and save, then I'll get that about us right in there. Now the challenge for you is just pass in an associative array with some random values that you wish, and just try to display it in here, specifically in the heading, or you can use of course any tags, like in this case, let me give you an example of passing an associative array. I'll pass again a name variable, and I'll just say about us. Now, what I'm interested in here is, instead of doing it here, I'm doing it in the title. So I'll just get the title dynamically from here, whatever I pass in here. So I can just say like $name, and which will yield that about us for us. Okay, so if we change in here like just a regular us, then we'll get that us. So instead, your challenge is do something like this one: pass in an associative array to contact us page, and also create a new contact.play.php and pass in something, and you can just play around with it so that you get a clear understanding of what happens out of the box or what happens at the end. So with that being said, this is all about views, and if you have any doubts or if you fell into some errors, please let me know in the comment section. And thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do subscribe my channel and click the bell icon near to it. So thank you for watching. We'll see you in the very next one.